for this morning's first speaker for this morning. So a recap of yesterday's activities: cybersecurity training and capacity building. Yesterday was about capacity building, and that's what we did talk about. Dr. Josephine Mwanzia did speak on behalf of Professor Nura Mohammed, who is the Director General of the Kenya School of Government. They are actually one of our partners here at Cyber Week Africa. Professor Nura Mohammed emphasized the need for continuous structured cybersecurity capacity building across all levels of Kenya's public service. Dr. Mwanzia then highlighted key gaps such as weak leadership commitment, a fragmented training efforts, and over-reliance on consultants. KSG, in partnership with the UNDP, Microsoft, and universities, public universities, are working to professionalize cybersecurity roles, integrate training into governance structures, and to promote practical learning through simulations and mentorship. So as an action point, moving forward, through the KSG, they are working on institutionalizing cybersecurity roles, harmonizing training programs, strengthening governance frameworks, promoting continuous learning and certification, and foster partnerships that drive accountability and resilience. Following that presentation, Mr. Harrison Mwashuma of Fortinet spoke on heightening cybersecurity resilience. It is in line with the theme of day one on our official opening with the Israeli ambassador to Kenya highlighted about resilience. Mr. Mwashuma showcased how Fortinet's AI-driven SOC and SecOps platforms automate threat detection and response, significantly reducing response times from days to minutes. Using a regional case study, Mr. Mwashuma demonstrated successful adoption of centralized monitoring, automated playbooks, and vulnerability management to improve readiness. As a suggestion for an action point here, to adopt unified SecOps platforms, integrated SIEM, SOC, and AI automated incident responses, to upskill teams through free Fortinet training and align cyber operations with national protection standards. Following him after the break, Mr. Joe Theophilus from Ghana Parliament explained and spoke to us about their experience in cybersecurity policy and legislation in the Republic of Ghana. He stressed that Africa's digital transformation must be guided by compliance by design. He shared Ghana's efforts to update its cybersecurity and data protection laws to meet evolving global standards, advocating for harmonized legislation, responsible AI adoption, and stronger compliance frameworks. The action points here were to update and harmonize cyber laws, institutionalize compliance frameworks, promote cross-border collaboration, and embed transparency and trust in digital transformation. Later that morning, we had Joylene Kirui speaking about AI security. And she really highlighted the way artificial intelligence is coming in with cybersecurity. And she highlighted AI's dual nature as a tool for innovation and a new cyber risk vector. She detailed threats such as deep fakes, data poisoning, and prompt injection attacks. And she stressed the need for governance, grounded data practices, and user awareness. She came up with an idea for us to ponder on and maybe to go on as a way for to develop AI security standards, integrate AI risk into cybersecurity policy, to strengthen awareness and data validation and secure all AI system layers through best practices like MFA, patching, and malware protection. Shadow Server Threat Intelligence by Andy Chadwick came with a different perspective. What is happening around the region? And Andy Chadwick, introduced Shadow Server as a non-profit in this space of cybersecurity. He highlighted that they are providing free, world-class cyber threat intelligence. Free. In fact, he offered it to us and told us if we want, we get in touch with him. He encouraged African institutions to use its tools for daily scans, malware tracking, and visualization to enhance situational awareness and proactive defense. He suggested that should you be interested to register for Shadow Server reports, deploy honeypots, use visualization tools for faster response, and build capacity through Shadow Server training while coordinating with national certs. We also did have a panel, a very engaging panel discussion on cybersecurity, information, and intelligence sharing, specifically around public participation. Cisco, who are part and parcel of this of the panel, highlighted its role in global cybersecurity frameworks and the Country Digital Acceleration CDA program supporting national digital intelligence systems. The panel had a robust conversation emphasizing collaboration between government, academia, and private sector, having a high emphasis on youth inclusion as digital first responders and reforms to outdated academic curricula. An action point was to enhance industry-academia partnership, modernize curricula, increase youth involvement, and promote public participation through incentives and awareness. So we did have, during this week, people from University of Nairobi, Daystar University, and also USIU, who have been part of Cyber Week Africa. And these ideas and these suggestions hopefully will be taken in stride. Voices from the Field was another presentation we did have by Shifra Wairima. Ms. Wairima urged recognition and retention of African tech talent, calling for grassroots mentorship, trust-based collaboration, and local innovation. She highlighted the need to bridge the gap between academia and market realities. Action points for this would be to implement policies supporting innovation, mentor local talent, retain skills through community networks, and strengthen cross-border collaboration and funding. A panel discussion followed her presentation, talk about compliance with our talent pipelines. I had the honor of moderating that panel discussion. The sessions reinforced the need for industry-government collaboration to build skilled cybersecurity and AI professionals. Cisco and the Kenya School of Government, who are part and parcel of that panel, shared ongoing capacity building initiatives that are existent. And again, some things that were not necessarily made aware to us, KSG, through Tim, but also through Dr. Mwanzia, highlighted these that are available. While the panelists stressed curriculum modernization and incentives for public participation, an action point was to strengthen capacity building partnerships, align curricula with emerging tech, and promote recognition for cybersecurity excellence. May I add, also heightening and building more awareness with the public what is involved, especially when it comes to quality. I'm trying to be able to, Dr. Manzia, what did you call it? Through accreditation. What was it? You said the Kenya National Qualifications Authority. Yes. So they are aligned to regional and global standards of this is what you call, they recognize your work experience and not necessarily just academic credentials. And so what came out of that is like, yes, we know it exists, but even greater awareness needs to be done, especially to young people who are entering the workspace and who already have a lot of experience, but don't necessarily have the access to institutions of higher learning and TVETs. And lastly, tackling ransomware and emerging threats was highlighted by Huawei, who were present. Mr. Sangra Ogoye traced ransomware evolution, and he explained Huawei's layer defense approach using sandboxing, AI-driven detection and endpoint response system. He emphasized that most breaches exploit human weakness and urged a culture of vigilance. He says in cybersecurity, the weakest link in cybersecurity is the human. And he also went to say that a lot of this needs to be emphasized as we look into cybersecurity. He pointed out that we need to adopt multi-layered defense systems as a countermeasure to enforce cybersecurity policies and to invest in user training to mitigate human vulnerabilities. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start hearing from our first speaker. I'm wondering if the people are ready today. Gentlemen up there, you're ready with your... Are we ready? So we're not surprising you today? All right. So our speaker for today is Eric Ouko. Eric Ouko from Lish Labs, who will be speaking to us about African languages in AI and cybersecurity systems. So please, let's give a round of applause, a warm welcome to our first speaker for today. Eric, karibu sana.
Thank you so much. The last time I was here is in 2000 and... No. If I say 2000 and someone will think it is 2009, 5, 3, no. I was here in 2018, 2019. I was in cohort 3 of Presidential Digital Talent. I was deployed in Jomo Kenyatta Foundation, but I said I stay in Nakuru. So I was looking at what I'm going to earn versus where I'm going to stay. For the next 1 year, I had to talk with the supervisor and I told him, sasa, kuna msee ameniambia naweza kuja JKF. Si mimi naweza enda Nakuru. Kaniambia haina shida, just bring him on. And then I went to Nakuru, the county government of Nakuru, the Department of ICT and e-government. My name is Eric Ouko Nyanamba. My background is mathematics and computer science. I'm the CTO for Lish AI Labs. Lish AI Labs is located in Nakuru. We unleash innovation through AI and machine learning. And that's where Simba AI was born. If you heard about Simba AI, it was born there. I was there when we were feeding with data. Our very big interest was how can these machines speak to us in our local language. Everything we have comes from the other side. So, ikiingia kwa AI uiulize rada. Do you imagine what that's supposed to be the answer to that? You know, they hallucinate sometimes. I use a lot of CASA AI because I'm a developer, software engineer, and a lot of data analysis. So sometimes you are prompting, then leo ni African languages. So if you don't know what I'm going to say, shauri yako. Ina cheesy. Si mnaelewa, inaanza kuchizi. Like, bro, kunaendaje? Nilikuambia, this is the variable. This is the value. Wewe kazi yako ilikuwa upange, alafu umeniletea hizi ni gani bro? Hizi ni gani? I'm supposed to talk to it like that. You know, I want to feel freely. Sitaki nikuwe na issue nikiongea na AI. So what's going to happen? The other day, my mom, you know, WhatsApp and Meta, they keep updating their applications. So pale kwa WhatsApp kuna kale ka kitu kako pale juu ka Meta. So akaniuliza, hii kitu uko sure ni nafaa kuwa nayo? Is it a must? Mwambia hiyo sasa ni AI. AI yake kijana, toa hii kitu kwa simu yangu, because she's not going to use it anyway. And I told her now, that's when actually I realized that AI is here with us and it's here to stay. It's not going to run away. So the best thing we can do, the very best thing we can do is at least know how to use it. Sasa hapo mambo imeanza kuchemka, si ndio? Because before 2020 when COVID came, watu walikuwa very okay. People were in office. If you want a letter written, ambia pale anaitwa office admin aniandikie barua. Anaandika vizuri, anakuletea, unaambia change hii ikuwe hivi, aende change arudishe. Now 2020 came, kila mtu akaambiwa akue home and you must be attending meetings online, and during those meetings you'll be typing a few things here and there, asking questions or responding. Ikabidi wakubwa waanze kusoma kutumia devices, si ndio? Now mambo ikaanza kuwa serious. Now AI is here and they are also like guys, what is this? Hii ni nini? Ebu, you know, take us through this thing. How do we build AI that is going to understand, protect and comply? Venye niliwaambia, I do a lot of programming, and last week the most recent update on Casa AI, I'll be mentioning things that you will need to start Googling if you feel like that is not a common term. So Casa AI took Visual Studio Code, an editor, then ikaipimp. Ushaiona town msee amechukua Premium, ameipimp inakaa BMW. Yeah? That is exactly what Casa AI did. So they took Visual Studio Code, they made sure it looks more better than how you can look at Visual Studio Code. Actually, there is a browser that is completely AI, like a complete AI browser that you pay $200 per month. You start asking yourself, what is that browser doing? You ask a question, everything that is supposed to be the correct answer comes in all the tabs. Now, I do agentic development. So I sit down and I say, this is my story. Now I want us to develop this system. So inaanza kudevelop. Wewe kazi yako ni coffee na kuzunguka kwa kiti. Unarudi, are you done? Unapata there is an error. Iliona error, ikarudi rectify. Ikaona error, ikarudi rectify. If you know what I'm talking about when you do Git and GitHub things, there is red values, green values, minus the 3 plus 20 lines of code. Now everything is okay. So then you realize that you're not doing anything. The only thing you are doing is just giving instructions and everything is being done. So now I'm worried whether we will really learn anything at all. Because now the only thing remaining is learning how to use AI and then find a problem, solve it. Then walk in town. People will be calling you. How did you do that? You know, stuff like that. So in Africa, there are more than 2,000 African languages and about 1% in the global AI. 70% of fishing now arrives in Swahili, in probably Kikuyu, or even where I come from, Luo and Kisii. something like you receive a message in the morning, M-Pesa yako imefungwa. How many people will click on that link? Your M-Pesa has been locked. You know that's a serious text. Even if you are eating, you will have to stop. If you are seated, you will have to stand. If you are standing properly, you will sit. If you are asleep, you will wake up and sit properly. How? Who locked my M-Pesa? And then there is a link there. Click here to unlock. You know, if you come from the village, 90% of the time you will click that. But if you come from around town here, you'll first of all look at it and be like, okay, what is this link? xx.com/ no, not that one. But someone will be like, no, I will have to click. My M-Pesa cannot be locked this morning, not today. And the moment you click, chaotics, isn't it? Assume we create an AI system that is supposed to detect that text in that local language, send an alert, and take immediate action. Have we really taught it how to understand that statement? No, we haven't. It understands probably English most of the time. The click rate of 68% of people will click on that. Now, we have Sheng, code switching, we have proverbs and tone. You know, sometimes the language that we, as Kenyans here, the terms that we use, they come up every other day. This week utasikia kuna shuka or kasongo, or you know, some terms just come up, and then zinaenda, then they disappear. Now, are we able to update this AI to understand the meaning of that? We are thinking of that. Now, compliance by design is what I was supposed to talk about. And there are 4 things that we need to look at how this AI can then comply by design. Number 1, AI must detect threats in context. It must detect those threats in context. That particular context. That's the first thing. Because of time, I will just have to highlight, and then, you know, some of the things are very simple to understand. If it's able to detect that threat in context, that is the first thing. Compliance by design. Number 2, the alerts must be trusted in mother tongue. The alert that comes, there is an issue, action. You know, someone has sent a text, and that text looks like a threat. Take this action. Okay? Your M-Pesa has been locked, followed by some link. AI should check the link, tell us don't click, or ignore, or delete. Number 2, alert must be trusted in mother tongue. Number 3, evidence must be admissible in local language. The evidence must be admissible in mother tongue, in a local language. Number 4, the systems must reflect cultural identity. And that is, that's how we'll be able to secure Beta's digital pillar. Now, let's think of a Swahili and a Sheng model that caught 98.7% of phishing SMS. English only was 42%, and probably that would have saved 180 million Kenya shillings. In Nigeria, a Yoruba-speaking AI bot negotiated with the ransom gangs. 85% abandoned. Evidence led to 12 arrests. So, local language will be equal to compliance plus prosecution. Okay? you know, they understand that AI doesn't understand most local language. So the attackers will use that. That is exactly what they will use. So we are looking at a bot that will have to negotiate with ransomware guys. 85% of those guys abandoned. That led to 12 arrests. So then it means that if we embrace it more, we are going to stop these the attacks better and in good number. We need to run that on our own devices. Now, what happened is the compute power in Africa and in other African countries, in Kenya, compute power is what is challenging us. Even Simba AI, we kind of running it on a CPU. If we do a GPU, then we're talking about a better, good pocket, right? For it to run better. You need to have it actually in a Kenyan device that doesn't go out, so that we, you know, when I was an intern at the county government of Nakuru, the MCAs wanted to see what we have developed, but they cannot believe it until you tell them that this is the machine that has whatever I developed. You will tell them that the server is in the cloud somewhere, things are running here, and you press here, you press there, things happen. No. We want which computer is having our system, the system that we developed for us. Where is that machine? So literally, the director asked me to go find a better big system unit, put it here, put a nice monitor there, display the thing. Your thing is here. They were like, yes, very nice. They want to see it. Don't tell them it is in the clouds. So we have that problem again. As far as we are trying to tell people now, we have moved away from training you basic computer skills. We are now in AI. Still, we need to go back and train them the basics, get to this level, then move up. By the time we are getting here, things have escalated. Now, and then the local language again, because it's getting to the village. If you look at, then what we need to do is, there are so much open data sets online that we can actually use. And if we can't find enough, there are so many youth. Their job would be very, very simple. Update the local language, the way they speak and understand, the way they want us to speak and understand each other. They want to talk to AI and it understands back and responds. That is the only way we can solve this. Data is the beginning of everything. In 2018, before 2018, probably it was oil, and then after that, data, right? So data is everything. When you have it, and that's why, as I said earlier, I like mathematics and computer science, because I wanted to handle numbers and computers, and I felt it's a good combination. So the moment I see data, I want to know what that data is about. Because during the Simba AI development, we had a lot of data mining, then scrapping, and then cleaning, then structuring, then feeding the model, then testing, then deploying. The whole process requires that this data is as clean as possible and it makes sense. But that was in English now, and we're trying to do it in other local languages. Now, if we make it by ourselves, we'll start by data. So let's feed those open dataset platforms with open dataset data on languages. Then let's use that to make it better, because as technology goes with this speed of the syllabus, we are going to be left behind, especially if the attacks start coming in. I'm looking at how the Ministry of ICT can include African national, NLPs in AI policy. We need to be able to fund multilingual datathons. Then we'll require African language clauses in AI tenders, like this is better, this is compliance, okay? As much as we want to look at compliance and design, let's also embrace the local languages. Let's see how then we can add on to that system that is being developed to also include a big part of the local language, even for the other people to understand everything about it. Right now, if you have a system that shows a big dashboard with values, you can't make sense out of it. But now include the component of AI, so that if you're a salesperson or if you are owner of a business, you're looking at the dashboard and you're seeing income this month, 13,500, net expenses, purchases. What is the meaning of that? You should be able to make sense out of it with AI. Even better, the user who uses your application at home, in the village, they should be able to understand the meaning of what is that? What's the meaning of that value? What's the meaning? What does it mean? If it keeps like that, then what happens? Can I also understand it in my local language? And another thing is, now that I trained my mom on how to use the Meta icon to ask some questions, she was telling, can I talk to it? Okay. She wants to talk to it then. If you want to talk to it, you will need to use English. She was like, remove it. But before we go to that point, can we think of a way then she can speak it in her own language? Tell her, I want to go to the market and nataka kununua nyanya. I want to go and buy tomatoes. So I have 100 shillings. What do you think? Is that budget making sense according to the current economy? So the Meta should go check the current economy of the country, the prices of stuff, and give a breakdown of things she can go and buy. But she had just spoke to it in the local language. That's it. Thank you so much.
As the MC, I have leeway because we have time. I suspect there are many questions. Sindio? Yes. Okay. So, Eric, you spoke about these languages, and thank you for your presentation. And let's appreciate him for what he has said. But let's do that first of all.
Thank you so much.
And for your organization for contextualizing AI in our own languages. Let's again appreciate that. Mumeona what's this? Is your mother or your grandmother who asked about that Meta thing?
My mom.
And what language was that conversation in?
She just wanted to speak it to it in.
Were you speaking in English, Kiswahili, Kisi? What was it?
In Kisi.
In Kisi.
Yeah.
So now she's asking.
Yeah.
Imagine her trying to interact with this AI. All right.
Yeah.
So explain to me. Is she left out from that? But you explain how people interact when they are limited because AI limits to certain number of languages.
Yeah. One thing that actually happens is that you think that you'll ask it and it should give you the real Kisii context in a paragraph. Alafu, when my mom reads it, no, that's not correct. Mm-hmm. It is trying, but not yet. Can you get me a better one? And I'm telling her, see Mimi, it's not me.
Ni chatbot.
Ni awase.
So somebody sent me a note here, passed me a note and said, how many local language dialects have your labs collected as digital data sets? And the second one is, how are you using them? All right.
Yeah.
How many do you mentioned right now you have English, English, which is there's Kiswahili.
There's Kiswahili, there's Kikuyu, there's Kalenjin.
There's Kalenjin.
Yeah, there's Luo.
There's Luo.
Yeah.
So how many others do you have? Have you developed this so far?
Currently, we were doing the Luya. What was happening? They were saying that in Luya there are so many.
Yes, there are 15 other dialects, right? In Luya.
the way someone reads it and they're like, no, not like that. You have to change it. So
So if it's Bukusu speaking,
the Teso will come and the other guy will come from
Bunyala will speak.
Bunyore.
Bunyori will speak.
They will say,
Maragoli will say this is not the same.
no,
way.
that's not correct.
Yeah.
Even the Kikuyu, those who come from Kirinyaga, they are telling us that's not how you write Aterere. That's not from Nyeri. No, that's not correct. We need to change it. So the challenge we have is how do you make it then remain in the context of I'm from Nyeri and I want to speak to you as a real Nyeri. So
Okay.
help me.
No, and Nyeris have
And
people from Nyeri have a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then now, when you come to Kiambu, the Kiambu guys are like, no, don't tell me like you are coming from Nyeri, please. Please speak like you are in Kiambu.
So how are you using these data sets, which was the second question? And again, if you do have questions, just please put your hand up. We can be able to we have a little more time here. And again, those who are not native Swahili speakers, we apologize if we do that, but it's okay if you are not clear. Please do ask if we go native on you, and I apologize in advance for that.
Yeah.
All right. But go ahead. How are you using these data sets?
What happens is when the first release of Simba AI, we say now, okay, we are doing almost everything that ChatGPT is doing, Grok is doing, Cloud is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be unique. Let's be a little bit different. So the second version of it is going to come out with more of the African language conversations, and they have to be very correct. Right now, if you ask Copilot, it will probably give you some response that looks like looks like makes sense. But we also want to ensure that making sense is actually sense, not just translating directly the English words into Swahili and making them, look like we have done our job. It is actually the understanding that should come out. So we take the data.
Yes.
It is so people have to go through it. The real people who understand the language.
Yes.
And they say, yeah, that's correct. Change this, put that. It has to be cleaned. Then we keep feeding it. The only challenge is that within one language, there are so many ways of speaking it.
All right. Just one more question before we take it. I've seen one question there. Is there another question? Yeah, we have another question there.
Yeah.
Another question there. Yes, we have. So we have 3 questions in just a bit. So a mic will come to you. So Eric, here's a question. Let me ask for the non-technical people. You say you need to detect threats in context.
Yes.
Now, you put a statistic here that how many percent of the threats come are in a local dialect? You're reading what 90 what percent?
I like what I said, 98 points. Okay, let's say a local dialect threat comes in.
Yes.
For example, your M-Pesa has locked.
Let's use that as an example.
Yes.
Okay.
Then
M-Pesa imefungwa.
Yeah.
All right.
M-Pesa yako imefungwa.
All right.
Followed by a link saying click here
to
unlock.
And this is done.
Ama finya yo whatever in Swahili.
Yes, your link.
Yeah.
All right.
68% of the people will click that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that
let me give you a different example that is related to that.
Yeah.
How many times do we talk about scams, pyramid schemes?
Yeah.
100 and a million times.
Yes.
You hear in Eldoret, people have been conned, have been scammed, and like 300 million has gone.
Yes.
How many times do we hear these stories and it keeps going? Several times. So there is a way a link or a text comes to our phones
in a format
in a way that you cannot avoid clicking it.
So in a place of appreciating that, we are talking about at least 42 languages with another maybe 20 or 23 more dialects. Actually, I'm being very conservative.
Variations, yeah.
In Kenya.
Yeah.
And now in Africa, there are over 2,000 and another 3,000 more dialects. So over 5,000 languages, so to speak. So how do you train? How do you get your data sets to be much more sensitive to that context? Because context sounds so absolute, so vast. I mean, unpack that for me.
We started with the point of having conversations,
Yeah.
the normal conversations. How do we converse if we met for the first time?
Mm,
Then there will be guys also taking notes on the same.
mm,
These guys taking the notes have to write the exact way they write it. You know, there's a way I write a U from where I come from, and there is a way someone from Kenya will write a U with some
mm.
apostrophe up there. It has to be checked again. So we started the conversations, continuous conversations into a specific topic, so we can gather specific topics that are going to almost capture every other concept, every other local concept that we can talk about.
Right.
Then get that onto because the voice has to also be
you.
included. Then the text part of
All
it.
right. We have about 10 minutes to go before our next speaker. So let's start with the question there, and then we'll come right here, and then we'll go up there. All right. Let's start here.
First, congratulations for collecting our local languages. That's the gospel I preach locally and on the continent.
Thank you.
So mine isn't so much a question, but a comment and a challenge to everybody here. I love the languages you've collected. There are a couple of other labs that have also collected Luo and Luya dialects as well. So another hat I wear, life member number 2 of the Bible Society of Kenya, and we've been here for forever. And we realized way back in the 80s that people couldn't read the Bible because it was in English. So we started translating it to a lot of our local dialects. So we have Bibles in most of our local dialects across the country. We then went a step further and we realized people don't just read, some people need to hear the word. So we actually translated it into audio. The reason why I say that, and I know I've had conversations with people who say, but those data sets will be biased towards religion. But I say, you guys are the experts. We already have these data sets in audio with a variety of languages. I'm a mixture of many tribes. In one of my tribes, if I say itina, it means come behind me. In another tribe, if I say itina, it means my bum. You see, Bible Society has already translated that into the different words that you have in the Bible. It could be a starting step for some of you who are collecting these data sets to approach Bible Society, see if you can get our recordings, pay us so that we can continue spreading the word of God. But now start using that data without, remove the bias, just to pick up the phrases, the intonation, to start feeding your LLMs. Otherwise, as this technology is emerging, Africa is going to be left behind, and we can't be left behind. And a lot of our languages are dying out because how many people are speaking it now?
That's fascinating. Eric, how would you respond to that? You have Bible Translation, BTL, who are out in Ruiru.
Yeah.
And she's spoken about the Bible Society of Kenya, who their partners are.
And she is here physically today.
And she's here physically. She's saying, don't reinvent the wheel. There are already data sets. How would you respond? And how many languages now? There are 22 or 23 languages now. Full Old Testament and New Testament. All right.
Wow, that's amazing.
There you go.
There is an application. If you go to Play Store, you'll find it called Bible.is. Probably, I don't know how many have seen that. Oh, okay. So I feel so good because I've seen it only. You've seen it, right? It actually, you can just put your earphones and listen to it in any language. Now, and I like that she has put it very clear that they have also translated it in audio. Because the challenge we are having actually is exactly what she gave as an example. Where I come from, if I say Igoro, means up. But I say it Igoro, it means yesterday. So it depends on how you speak it. Writing could be different now. Because someone will read it as Igoro when it means Igoro. And then there's a challenge. So audio part is really, really important. And that's why we started the conversations.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there you have direct access there to an interesting data set and their experience, and I can attest to them. They're very thorough in their translations.
That's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a beneficiary of that work. Okay, yes, your name and then the question.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Amos Chege. I'm a lecturer in Meru University of Science and Technology.
Karibu sana. We've met even some of your students,
Sure.
and your people.
Sure. And I teach machine learning. I teach natural language processing. Recently, I attracted a grant from the Kenya Education Network. We are building also a model on local language, actually. Current work ongoing. I'm leading a team of researchers on that. We are focusing on Meru language. And I think there's something you also mentioned about the dialects. We realized, like in Meru, there's Imenti, Gembe, there's Tharaka,
Nithi. Is that Nithi as well?
Tigania.
You are what? 9 of you. Yes.
Yeah. So those are the different dialects. So
Yes.
in the process of us building this language model, we're realizing the dialects are differing. And I'm happy that Dr. is indicating that Bible Society of Kenya has that. I use YouBible, and I actually installed it for my mom back in the village, and it reads for her in Kikuyu. But again, my concern is this other group of young people who result from intermarriages. I don't know what your model is going to do for that. But I'm so much interested to understand, like, are you capturing text, like what the kind of text that Bible Society has, or are you recording audio so that you build these data sets? And are your data sets open, maybe for learning purposes? Like if for my 4th year students who are doing natural language processing, how can they access your data sets? And how accurate are they?
Oh, all right.
Good question. Yeah.
Good question. So what's happening is that, every time before we decided to do it from scratch, like, hey, sit here, write this and stuff like that, we're like, could we find a tool that can actually then get this information? So, right now we do not have transcription work. It's gone. People used to do a lot of transcribing and get paid, but Otter.ai took over. Now, but Otter.ai doesn't understand Swahili or local languages. So then can we develop an agent that can actually do like Otter, but then do the text in the right way? So that's the agentic development that we are having there, and it's really very interesting. The guys, these gentlemen and ladies that you see called Gen Z, their training is very nice. It's doing great work, and I'm so much interested in what she's saying, because then it means we have data all over. Only we haven't gone to ask for it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Prof, I'm going to encourage you. This is a gentleman you might need to talk to. One of the reasons why we have Cyber Week Africa is places like this. I think you have brought up a very, very good place where we can see, synergy working with 3CS. You have people who are training models. Here are people who have the framework, and there are people who have the data. And so I would love to see an interaction before you go to Meru, some of that interaction in itself. We have 2 more questions. I saw one over there. You have the mic over there. All right. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Your name? Yes.
My name is Arnold Njage. I'm in ICT, but more in the infrastructure side, but with a lot of interest in cybersecurity and AI. So my question was looking at the bigger picture. We already exist as nations. So there's the element of trying to localize the AI. But in business and in official undertakings, we prefer official languages. And I'm not saying the ones that were brought by colonialists, the English, French, and all that. We, for example, as Kenya, are very proud of our Swahili. And then you go to Uganda, they talk of Buganda. You go to Rwanda, Kinyarwanda. So in terms of Kenya now, how good is AI training in Swahili itself? Because Swahili is one language which we all connect. If we look at the different languages, everyone will retreat to their small circle. But if we look at the bigger picture of Swahili, it will bring everyone together. So how far has AI addressed the Swahili element, been trained in Swahili, so that because the assumption is anyone who has stepped in school, whether you even completed class 8 or grade 6 for now, you'll have a good grasp of Swahili, and you'll be able to communicate with anyone in Kenya. So how much emphasis are you giving Swahili as a language, which is much appreciated globally and even Africa-wide, where we have Swahili even being recognized by Africa Union as something that should bring the whole of Africa together?
Thank you so much. That's quite a good question there. I want us to reflect a few things here now. You know, there is English for Kenyans, and then there is English for the globe. Is that correct? Because if I told any person who's coming from outside Africa what a panka is, you know, panka, P-A-N-G-A, you know what that means? But that's not an English word, is it? It's in Kenya, that's an English word, and you cannot tell me anything, you know. So there is English for Kenyans, and then there is English for the globe. Even Swahili. Kenyans, the way we speak Swahili and the way Tanzanians or Zanzibar people speak Swahili is different. If I meet my dad, nitamuuliza mambo. If I go to TZ, probably I'll be like shikamo. And it has to be like that. So we have to find a way, and that's why we say the dialects, the way, there's so much. So yes, you're trying, not there yet. The variations, the dialects, they're really extremely many. And the way I want you to understand me in that particular context is extremely different. Niaje, and then niaje, you know. You have to find a way to make it better. It's not there yet. You're doing our best.
Okay. I'm going to have one more question if there is before we can do. All right. Actually, there are two. So we'll take the gentleman over there. Right. That's you, Joe. All right. And there was a mic up there already. All right. Go ahead.
I am Jeff Karaoke from Mama Ngina University College, and there's 43 languages, 23 dialects. That's a lot to standardize. That's a lot. And there's, for example, there's English UK, English US. My question is, what if you try to standardize the languages from instead, let's putting African languages, there's Kikuyu as the first normal form. Yes. Then there's from different geographical locations. Because I'm from Kirinyaga. You said people complain a lot. Even at home, nikiongea Kikuyu, people complain a lot that my Kikuyu is very terrible. So what if it's because I was raised in two different geographical locations? I think if you link how there's English US and English UK, there is now Kikuyu as the first normal form, and Kikuyu Nyeri, Kikuyu Kirinyaga is a different normal form, because 43 languages is a lot to standardize with 22 dialects.
It's not a lot. All we need to do is people like the Mwalimu here, they have done it. You know, you can also help us. You know, everyone. Number two is that I don't want to speak differently just because I'm in Nairobi. I want to speak the same way in Nairobi, at home, in Nakuru, all over. And this AI must know that that's how I speak. So I don't want challenges. It must work. And how must it work? Your help, my help, and we'll do it.
Just to point out to you, your name again? Jeff. Yes. Just with Kiswahili, there are 13 different versions. There's Tanzania Kiswahili, there is Mombasa Kiswahili, there is what we call East African Kiswahili, there is formal Kiswahili, but there are 13 different ones. So that they've actually done it. I'm even just looking at it over here. So they are there. Back to you, Prof. It's actually there. Maybe there's a place of you guys collaborating to be able to do that. I'm feeling some things happening here. Joe, your last question, then we will have our speaker coming in here.
Yeah, so my name is Joe from Ghana. I'm looking at the economic benefits for the Gen Zs today. How can we shape the mindset of the youth today or the Gen Zs today to have some economic benefit? Because today on TikTok, many are developing content and it's becoming economic benefits. How do we shape the youth today and policies and governance in a way that the youth today can have so much economic benefits? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that's a very good question. Remember when there was a lot of riot in our country, Gen Z, in June last year, right? Before that time, most Gen Z had gone online. They were actually educating people about the Constitution. That was amazing. I mean, how can we then get hundreds of those ones, even doing it in the language that they understand themselves? And instead of doing it on video and leaving it there, maybe probably updating the LLMs. Every time updating them. That way it will reach many, and when people are educated, trust me, they'll do wonders. So apart from just working on the languages themselves, the official, the dialects, the variations of every other language, we are like, hey guys, can you then bring that language yenye mnasema rada, alafu, the way they speak, bring it as well as a language, then keep updating it because your words keep changing every week.
So he's asking, how do you generate income from that?
Well,
or other opportunities in that, at least from where you sit.
From where I sit, well, the guys who are developing agents for LLMs, we have done what we call a marketplace. A marketplace is somewhere you develop an agent that solves a specific problem. For example, in health, you say I will specialize in mothers, and then I will make sure that I translate all these in a way that these mothers can understand. Then I put that agent on the marketplace. Okay, so that if the mothers go to hospitals for maternity thing, they are able to use that particular agent and they can get answers in a language they understand better with all the details that they would need.
Closing remarks. You've had some of the questions here.
Yeah.
I hope it's informing you some things maybe you have not thought of, or maybe you're like, that's a different way to approach it. Maybe you give your closing remarks.
Well, thank you so much. I didn't know that many people are doing it like from everywhere, Daktari. That's really interesting. I think we need to have our buses on the road, and the first stop is where you are doing it. We want to see how then we can collaborate to have this also add on to the languages we're developing. Something else is instead of struggling to use AI, can we think of how we can actually develop our own? It doesn't really have to be solving problems elsewhere, but Africa. Kenya to start with. Let's start from home. The moment we start that, if I start, you start, he starts, we meet, we'll do it. And we'll be able to do wonders.
Eric, I'm just so appreciative that you've come here. It's a good way for you to just contextualize all these conversations. It's mekwa huku. But now to come here and now just say AI should affect also that person in the village. But also yesterday, there's a gentleman from Uganda who challenged us, who were in the panel. We were speaking about those who have access to education institutions. But he says in his country, just about half transition past the 8th grade. So if they don't have access to that, they won't be trained on cybersecurity. So what does that look like? You have now challenged us and given us a practical one. Let's start using our own languages. That's where you do it. Thank you very much for your contributions. We appreciate, and as they said earlier, thank you for just being at the tip of the spear in championing African languages in AI and cybersecurity. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our speaker for this, at least our last speaker for this morning before we take a break, we've had her before, but we are inviting her back to give us much more insights. It's Madina Ali. Let's appreciate her. Today she'll be speaking on cybersecurity threats and international cybercrime and just countering that. Let's appreciate her. Welcome again.
Good morning, everyone. I think we're going to run a little bit smoother this morning. Yeah, I'm good. So today I'm going to be discussing global trends in countering cybersecurity threats and international crime. And this is such a crucial topic because as we realize with the emergence of the internet, the mobile phones, now that AI is here, there is a legitimate cybersecurity as a crime platform that is being utilized. And it's being utilized throughout the world. A lot of people, we call them hackers. We all know there's ethical hackers, and then there's not ethical hackers. And so recently, just about a week ago, in Hanoi, Vietnam, the UN Convention on Cybercrime just passed a treaty. And I do want to say that Kenya, Ghana, and a few of the other, I'm going to list a few of the other African countries, but they did very well. There's a lot of African representation where they signed the treaty, which was very good. So I will list all those countries later, but let me get through the presentation. So the next slide. So what I want to highlight here is, and I just mentioned cybercrime as a service platform. So that is legitimate. This is where hackers use malicious tools that are not now accessible to low-skilled actors, and basically they're doing all kind of ransomware attacks, things regarding stealing money in the U.S., which is very common, targeting seniors and getting access to their bank accounts and taking money. But also the growth is, unfortunately, AI. And I think this is why Cyber Week Africa has been so important. We've had a lot of great speakers, a lot of great content talking about AI, particularly our last discussion. But we also have to understand there are a lot of adversaries using AI. And there's a lot of deep fake actors. There's a lot of things that you may think is real with AI, but it's not. You may even think you're seeing a real person, but they actually have been created by AI. And it's not really a real person. And you may be on social media talking to this person, but it's really AI, just so you know. The other thing is the rising global cyber incidents. This just highlights, how it is happening throughout the world. One of the things that, and I was just recently at the headquarters at Microsoft in Seattle, Redmond, where they have a whole cyber defense unit that works closely not only with the US government, but they also work with Interpol and the EU. And before the war happened in Ukraine, we could already start detecting Russia going into their IP address and gathering information and figuring out where they were going to target Ukraine. So when we mention international collaboration, defense, governments and organizations adopting cooperation for advance to combat these cyber threats, unfortunately, certain countries are are using, IP addresses, using AI tools now to learn about what other countries are doing, learning about their, defense strategies, learning about, are they planning to attack, just kind of gathering intelligence and using, unfortunately, the AI technologies to, just to advance, but also in a negative manner. So we're going to talk about some of the emerging threats, and we've all been talking about this week around the rise of malware, free attacks, and just in 2024, 79% of cyber detections involved free malware methods. So you can go on the internet now and you'll see, oh, just download this malware for free, right? A lot of times that is a potential cyber attack. So there's not really free malware detection tools out there. However, when you just put in your Google free malware, it will pop up. People download it all the time. Sometimes people don't want to pay for the antivirus protection or Microsoft Defender because it is not cheap. And unfortunately, that's when ransomware, that's when a lot of attacks. And then also, we cannot forget the human element. And that's our greatest threat. And a lot of ransomware attacks come through the email phishing. So that's a whole other scenario as well. The other thing, again, is around AI, and they are using generative AI, Copilot, Gemini, phishing, deep fakes. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of fake websites, fake images out there, particularly around social media. Also, cybersecurity, I would say this has been the year where things have been challenged because of generative AI, and we are starting to use some of the security AI tools to detect what is going on in the network before things really happen. And also, and the other thing too, organizations are going to need to adopt some of these AI driven detection and also start utilizing some of the data analytics. We use a lot with Power BI, but there's Snowflake. There's a lot of data analytics out there analyzing what is going on in the internet, what's going on in the infrastructure, what are some of the trends you're seeing. The other thing that I want to emphasize is the training. It is very important in any organization, from enterprise, education, government, NGO, that employees are trained on how to recognize email phishing, because that helps a lot with these attacks and prevention. And just real quickly, just so I can kind of engage with the audience, How many of you all have gone through cybersecurity awareness training where you have been trained on, email phishing, how to recognize ransomware attacks, just, having an overview, how to prevent it, doing a simulation tool where you're, looking at a real email and realizing that this is a fake email. If I can get just real quickly from the audience, if people can raise their hands. Okay. Okay. So very few people in the audience, and that's not good. And so one of the things is that when these countries sign these agreements, and I know we've talked a lot about capacity building, correct? But what's key to capacity building is the training. And that is very, very imperative. And you cannot really go through cybersecurity awareness training without the email phishing. And also, if anyone has any questions, please, you can stop me and I will definitely answer. So, as I mentioned before, geopolitical and sectoral threats. So, one of the biggest things that early on we realized before Ukraine was attacked, there was research and detection going on where it was already known that Ukraine was going to be attacked, and we were able to see that through just detecting of the IP addresses. And and that's why I'm just showing you this diagram. If you go into a SOC, what we call a Security Operations Center, and I know some of you all work actually in SOC or quote unquote as a security analyst, these are the things, this image comes up on the screen where you're able to detect and monitor what is going on in that infrastructure. But I wanted to highlight that there are government, state-sponsored hackers and that use cyber attacks to disrupt and exert political pressure. And just using the whole Russia-Ukraine as an example, there's certain ones that are happening in, emerging economies and just all kind of disruption. One of the things I can, remember that was happening here in the Middle East is that a lot of, some of the terrorist groups were targeting some of the younger people and getting them to, join Al Qaeda and join certain groups just to, and they were really actually targeting young people to leave Europe, leave the U.S., come over here to the Middle East, and really go to a more of an extreme form of Islam, which is not correct. However, they use strategic tools, and a lot of those strategic tools are social media. So, and then the other thing are elections and critical infrastructure. And I think, earlier on, I think it's becoming more important that in the continent of Africa, that there's a true investment in the data centers, because I think it's important that you all own the data and control the data, particularly when it comes to elections, so you can understand the trends and kind of know what's going on. I think when you utilize other data centers around the world, you pose a risk of not really understanding what's going on in your electoral system and process. The other thing, again, the need for stronger national policies and international cooperation for cybersecurity policies, and then also threat intelligence sharing. So just so you know, I know Kenya has a base here, a U.S. military base. So there's a lot of sharing that goes between the U.S. and Kenya on just any type of political threat, any violence threat, anything that, is kind of happening. And so what you're seeing now a lot is countries working together and sharing that intelligence. So you're seeing more cooperation as a result of these cybersecurity attacks as well. So I'm gonna go now into the rise in ransomware and supply chain vulnerabilities. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back here. Okay, so does everyone know when I go into the supply chain and what I'm talking about in terms of the growth and the emergence there? Okay, so just so you all understand, supply chain attacks in 2024 rose by 68%. Now that we're in 2025, we're predicting they may have increased this year alone at 80%, just so you understand that point. And basically, it's the ecosystem, the digital ecosystem is really we actually do all of our purchasing and our processing online today. Years ago, you would sign a paper document, you may fax it over, you would put it in the mail, and then you would wait for something to be shipped. When we buy or purchase or anything, everything from the enterprise level all the way to the consumer level, we're doing it online. I know in the US, I would say 60 to 75% of our purchases, particularly due to Amazon, is online. So as a result, the whole supply chain. And now if you may be ordering something, you think it's legit, you think it's a viable product, it may not be. And that's another major scam out there where you're buying products and services online and they're not legitimate, and therefore you may, lose out as well. So the ransomware attacks just for the first half of 2024, and I wanted to use accurate data, and we're also working on some of the research papers as well, so you all have this information. But the hackers earned $450 million. So we're talking about $500 million. That was just the first half of 2024. We feel like in 2024, it went up to $1 billion, and this year we expect it to be at $1.5 billion, just in ransomware attacks alone. And also, when we say the word APT, that stands for Advanced Persistent Threat Groups and ransomware operators. And what they do is they come out with different political moves that are going on that may not be true. And also, a lot of their motives is financial. So one of the sectors that we work heavily in is the financial services. And all of our clients, we have a security roadmap that they must, conform to, because as a result, they have to follow compliance. And then, and in terms of supply chain, that whole process is being redefined, and also looking at the various touch points, how can we make security stronger? And one of the growing areas, I know earlier we had a speaker around privileged access management, where we're only giving certain privilege to certain employees, but the other terminology is identity access management, where, we're really going through a process of identifying who this person is. I know we've been using a lot with multi-factor authentication, MFA. However, there's a process now where we're going through 3 or 4 different ways to identify someone. And that's definitely by their face, but also making sure not only do your passwords, your codes, but really putting a stronger process to identify who these people are. And I'm sure you've seen a lot with the emergence of facial recognition as well. So on the regional threat analysis, and guys, I know that's South America. I was really trying to get the continent of Africa, but I have to tell you, John is always throwing things at me. So I'm sorry about the map, but when we update it, we'll get Africa down there. But in terms of the regional incident, oh, sorry, I only have 1 minute yet. Okay. But right now, what was interesting is that the highest incidence of cyber is really happening in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I was not able to get the specific statistics, but Germany and the UK last year experienced very active malware activity. And so what we have been doing and what we've been working with the UN on is really looking at how do we look at the local threats, regulations, and risk policies, and how do we develop strategies around there to make the region more secure. Okay. And then this is the cybercrime statistics. By 2025, they're saying damages for cybercrime expected to reach 105 trillion annually. And then there's a lot of small business vulnerability. 60% of small businesses close within 6 months after a cyber attack. Banking, healthcare, and retail, as I told you, all the online supply chain. Healthcare breaches rose 25% in 2024. The majority of attacks. And then, as we mentioned in our discussions this week, we talked about AI-powered defense systems, zero trust architecture, and then, of course, the importance of the regulatory and partnership frameworks. And that's when countries, governments, NGOs, public-private partnerships work together to ensure that these threats are combated. In terms of, recommendations, it's going to be important that, like again, Cyber Week Africa has been so important because basically through this, we're able to collaborate, learn from each other, but we're going to have to do more collaboration, more investment, and then also be proactive as well. Oh, sorry. Okay. I made it. Wait a minute. I was trying to click back, but anyway, I don't think I can, right? Does anyone have any questions, comments? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so at the global front, there's much talk about on cyber insurance.
Yes.
I didn't hear you throw light on that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Very good question. Just so you know, in terms of cyber insurance, we're starting to require all of our clients to purchase it. Just so you know that for business insurance, now cyber security insurance is a supplement, but also you have to execute all of the policies around cybersecurity insurance. Like you have to have the identity access management, you have to have the password management tools, staff and employees have to have the cybersecurity awareness training. You have to have incident response plans. You have to execute those policies. If there is an incident, if there's a vulnerability, you have to report it. How was it handled? So it's a whole process involved. But yes, the cybersecurity insurance is becoming a $1 trillion industry alone. But keep in mind, you may be able to get the insurance, but you have to execute a very strong cybersecurity policy and plan. And also, they are starting to audit the companies and organizations to ensure they are implementing that as well. Very good question. Thank you. Sorry.
Hi. So there are two things I want to clarify. One, when you asked about cyber hygiene awareness training,
Yes.
I saw very few hands go up. So about, gosh, I think it was about 3-4 years ago, the UK FCDO engaged a couple of us. Dr. Kate Gitau, those of you who were here earlier this week, you saw her talk. Dr. Paula Masuva from USIU, and she's part of the Cyber Shuja project. So Paula, Kate, and myself, under a partnership with government stakeholders, we developed the first cyber hygiene curriculum for developing nations. So if you go to the KICTANET website, I don't know if any of you are aware of KICTANET, KIC.
Okay.
KICTANET, and it's just Google KICTANET and Google Cyber Hygiene Awareness Program. We've covered it, and it's under a local context. So some of the things you were talking about, the phishing and everything, I call them the nefarious ishing family, because you've got phishing, which is the emails, smishing, which is the SMSs. We've got vishing, which is a voice. We've got catfishing. There's a whole bunch of them. But if you go onto that website, you'll be able to get a lot of information. If you also want to know about our cyber threats and more information on what we have, Communications Authority actually releases a quarterly report. So if you go to their website, you'll be able to get more local context from a Kenyan perspective. If you have children, they've also launched a game to train children on cyber hygiene awareness called Cyber Soldiers or something. When it comes to cyber insurance, I just want to give you the African perspective. When I was in Maryland, I actually developed a law to make it mandatory in the state of Maryland. But in Africa, we're not pushing that agenda too hard because of the cost of cyber insurance. So insurance companies are backed by reinsurers. The reinsurers in Kenya have already said that they can't afford the cost of cyber insurance. So not just in Kenya, but on the global stage, we may have to go the way the US went after 9/11. Remember before that, terrorism insurance, anybody could get it. It was a dime a dozen. Post 9/11, it skyrocketed, and the reinsurance sector in the US couldn't be able to afford to give money to the insurance company, and by proxy, nobody could get domestic terrorism insurance. And so they passed the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act, which now the government became the reinsurer to the terrorism insurance industry in the US. The same thing is going to happen with cyber insurance. Governments are going to have to become the reinsurers for a national security perspective because nations can't afford it. So that's why you're finding that conversation isn't gathering as much momentum. Although in Kenya, we do have a few players who offer it. And it's a very good cyber resilience tool because the insurance company doesn't want to pay out that money. So they're going to be on your back to ensure you comply and all your security protocols are in place.
And just so you all know, kind of what's happening in the U.S. as well as the U.K. and even Canada is a lot of the organizations are getting cybersecurity insurance, and they're implementing these security plans and incident response plans and really emphasizing the training. One of the things that I have recommended to CyberPro is us starting some type of cohorts on a quarterly basis to really focus on continuous training. So just so you know, we have to go and train employees every quarter now. It's a requirement based on the cybersecurity insurance. Because if they're not trained on a quarterly basis, they run the risk due to email phishing. Because we all know the greatest risk of cybersecurity is the human element. And then I think the speaker that he has a question. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's the last one. Okay.
Oh, thank you. You talked about supply chain and the attacks that come along with it. A solution that we were looking for required that we look at it from the point of transactions, because if I pay for an item, I'm waiting for the delivery. But now I've already paid, so whoever I've paid, they have already used the money, but no delivery. That has happened in the recent years with PayPal.
Yeah.
People pay and nothing is delivered.
Exactly.
So we were looking at it from this point of, is there a way that we can develop a way of transacting? I send money to the bank account. It just stays on, is it the actual balance or available balance? But you
Yeah.
cannot withdraw it
Yeah.
until the item is delivered. Then when I asked a friend of mine who's been in the banking system for quite some time now, 10, 15 years, he told me the best way you can do that is partner with them.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're not going to give you that. Like if I have a check from a different bank,
Yeah.
it stays for 2 days before they pay me. Where is the problem with doing the same? If I send money to your account, it actually stays there. You can't withdraw it. You can't use it until I
Yeah.
pay the delivery. What's the problem with that?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. This is a very difficult situation. I know that in the US, PayPal and even Amazon, if you do not receive it, they automatically reimburse you. We refer to it as a chargeback to that retailer. So if you did not receive it, you will get your money back. You will get your funds back. But let me tell you how some of the supply chain risks that we were recently involved with, where in an enterprise organization, an email was sent to the procurement team that manages, and it looked like a regular vendor, a legitimate vendor. And a lot of times transactions are sent via ACH, where the funds go from one bank account to the other bank account. And they were not able to recover those funds because it really looked like this was a legitimate vendor. So those are some of the increase in the supply chain attacks. They're seeing it more on B2B than B2C, business to consumer. So, and I think retailers are just saying, hey, if they didn't receive it, they have to be reimbursed. And I think they're doing it through some of their insurance or money reserve, that type of thing. So, so that's kind of, what's happening as well. But I do agree with you. I think you have to have strong relationships with the banks and the partners. When incidents like that occur with our clients, we get on the phone first with the bank. And from there, the bank, they start working on their side to pause and hold the front funds if we see something suspicious. So a lot of times we can catch it before before the transfer process happens. So I do agree with you. So I hope I was helpful. Thank you all.
Thank you, Medina. As you make your way out, just one more before we break. So here at Cyber Week Africa, we want to just highlight some of the practitioners who are setting up frameworks or some of the structures that are there. And so one of the innovators who are here Marcellinus Philip. Are you here? Marcellinus, where are you? I saw you earlier. Where are you? All right, please do come down. Marcellinus is going to give us a demonstration about one of the things he is innovating. Maybe for the next 10 minutes, Marcellinus, we're going to give you 10 minutes or so. He'll just show us what innovations are happening, and then from there on, we will break for tea. All right, Marcellinus, do you want to use that? Do you want to use Mike hapa ukue kama MC?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcellinus Philip. I have a team of two other people. I have my colleague here, Alex. The other one is at the back. He's called Austin McKenzie. We are Daystar students, alumni of CyberPro. Alumni of CyberPro. We came up with a system known as CyberMtego, as you can see. CyberMtego in Kiswahili, for those who know Kiswahili, we know Mtego is a trap, right? So this is basically a project of a phishing project, a project in which we can be able to identify and train specifically those workers who are more apparently to click phishing emails, right? Click next. So why choose CyberMtego? In the previous year, Kenya lost 165 billion shillings to phishing. As we know, that's a whole issue in Kenya, and it's rising rapidly as we continue by the years. One employee clicks a phishing email, then CBK can find that financial institution. As you can see, even Safaricom and KCB and NCBA were hit in the previous statistics. CyberMtego is a Kenyan AI phishing trainer. It trains, tracks, and protects via SMS, M-Pesa, or QR. That's what makes us unique. We integrate M-Pesa, we integrate URL, email analysis, and SMS, though it's still a prototype in progress. We also, the vision of this CyberMtego is by 2030, we should have zero phishing fines, especially for financial institutions. Because you see, when an employee clicks a phishing email, it drastically affects the financial institution due to the CBK fines. Let's go next. Statistics show that in Kenya, the cyber threat has risen rapidly, especially KCB, M-Pesa, which have daily phishing scams. NCBA, we have the CEO. There was some phishing fraud scheme, which NCBA lost approximately, I believe, 50 million shillings. There's 68% of Kenyan employees fail phishing test, and I will simulate to you how that happens. Continue. So, market comparison of CyberMtego to other prototypes in the market. We took a sample of four other prototypes. We have KnowBe4, Footprint, Proofpoint, Mimecast, and GoFish. For the market comparison, CyberMtego is affordable. We've integrated 3 email, SMS, URL, and we have false clicks as 0, and you'll see just in a minute. And we've integrated AI to it. Click next. What's the project goal? Our mission to train employees and reduce phishing clicks by 75%. Right now, we are at 82%. So we have to reduce it. Our goal actually is to reduce it up to less than 30%, and I think it's achievable. I'll call my colleague here, Alex, to take you through that system.
So good morning, everyone. We are going to go through the website itself. I don't know. We are going to switch. They're going to have to switch to the landing page first. So that. Okay. So this is the landing page for the website. CyberMtego, as you can see at the top left. Now we are going to, first of all, you're a company, you're going to have to sign in first.
Sorry, the network is kind of slow. He's restarting the system. Don't worry about whatever you're seeing, the gibberish you're seeing there. It's the system restarting.
Okay. So he's going to log in to the admin account. So here on the admin dashboard, first of all, we see number of users, which are 6, number of simulations sent, which are also 6, and average click rate is 0.0. And then we are going now to click on launch simulation to simulate a phishing attack. Yeah. Sorry about the loads. As we say, it was a prototype. Yeah. Oh, I talk. Okay. So what exactly is supposed to be happening on this page is you're supposed to click a specific template. Let's say I'm sending you an email about you have won $1,000 or something. Now you click that template and then you can either send it to a whole team, let's say a whole IT department or the whole HR department, or you can just click to send it to a specific user. Let's say if that user has a high click rate. So you pick that specific user, then you send you send the phishing simulation. If they click it, an AI runs in the background and now shows the rate at which this user is likely to click on that specific email again, let's say tomorrow, or if an actual phishing email is sent. For SMS and URL, we haven't quite yet finished on those parts yet, but for the URL, we are, let's say you pick a specific URL, put it on the website, click it. I mean, now you send the URL now to the backend, or to let's just say backend. You send it to the backend. Then what the system does, it cross-checks the URL, checks first of all, it will check how the URL is based. If there's, okay, I'll use some technological terms here. So if the URL is HTTP, it will most likely call it out as a phishing URL. If it calls it out as HTTPS, it will be called out as a safe URL. Or it will be called out as a safe URL. Now, for the SMS, what the system does, it has templates for specific SMSs. And I'm sure everybody here has ever received an SMS where you're told at something in the lines of let's say we are Safaricom, we are asking Sri for a pin change and something like that. Now the system has a template for that. It chooses that, sends an SMS to the specific user you've chosen, and if the user actually actually opens and clicks on the link on the SMS, the AI records back on the admin database to show us the click rate of this user. Now, what do we do with this click rate? Let's say this user has a high click rate. We subject them. There's another tab for now users where we subject this user. Let's say the higher the click rate a user has, the higher or the more vigorous the training the user will have to go through. And the lower, and vice versa. And yeah, I think that's basically the whole website, even though I wanted to show you it myself.
I don't know if, as they are working on it for the time we have, why choose the Cyber Mtego? You know, this project, it was inspired by the phishing that goes on in this country. 82% is not a small number. 82%, and it is still growing. We want to reduce it up to 30%, and that will be a journey. Because we all know, say, human beings are the weakest link in security, right? The system, you can hardcode the system however you want, but as an attacker, the first hint that will come to my mind as I'm trying to attack either an organization or a financial institution is not the system. The system is secure. Most of the time it is, unless there is an unpatched vulnerability. But if it's not, if it's fully secure, where do I go to? The human being. I fish you an email, an SMS, or a URL. That is simple, and I've gotten into the system. So I don't know is it back? If it's not, any question? Yes.
Cyber Mtego, this is really amazing. As a software engineer, I look at what you're doing and I'm so much happy when I see the code not working. That's the thing now, because what usually we do as developers is that if we have 60 minutes to create a program or code, we'll code for 10 minutes. The remaining 50 minutes will be for fixing the problems. That's how we do it. And it's really interesting. Now, my first question goes to the government, if there is any government representative here, and you guys. The government recently released APIs, and it's now public for us to use, you know. But they started with the ones that make money for the government, you know, KRA APIs. Why am I saying that? I want to look at data, the data that we're actually looking for, because we're looking at companies, parastatals, government departments, and access to that particular data that we need so that we can be able to do tests here. Because these people that are here, all of us, there's probably someone who has a password that goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
And they have saved it on their browser. And they are very happily seated here. And they are telling us they are attending a Cyber Pro week. It's happening.
Yeah.
How many people have saved passwords on their browser? So many of them. How many will click a link? So long as they see Safaricom, they don't want to read the rest of the text. They know it's Safaricom. Just click. So they click. Okay?
Yeah.
In other words, I'm looking at more of training than the systems first. But we need to tell them why we are training them. So what aspect of this system is going to show the training part?
As you can see here, it's back, right? Put me the mic. As you can see here, it's back. We have, this is a page in the admin section. We have managed simulations. Now here it is simulating page where click choose template. Here we have agent, verify your account within 24 hours. You can choose, okay, verify, choose it. Yeah, then go to an Gmail account, then send simulation. So what this does, it sends that phishing email to the Gmail account. The Gmail account has to be a registered user, right? The registered user in this system. You see, security training agent. When you click, it brings you to this page. right? When you click verify now, it will send you to another page which looks legit, but it's not. Then of course, you've been pwned. If you're a cybersecurity analyst, you know what pwned is. You've been owned. Okay, so that's how, as I'm answering your question, you can send this when you deploy the system into an organization. You can send this massively into, let's say, an IT department, marketing department, or all the departments. If a user fails the simulation, it will record. And from that data, you can back up and see, you can retrace your steps on how to handle the phishing later on. Any other question?
So we would like to just take 2 more questions and then I will break. All right. So where was it? There's one right here. And there's one at the back over there, right behind you. All right.
All right. Thank you for the work you're doing. So I have 2 questions. How scalable is this system of yours, and what is a competitive moat that it cannot be wiped off by anyone who decides to do this? What is the edge?
Number one, how scalable it is. Right now, it's a working prototype. We've tested it and it's working. So later on, we can scale it. We can scale it as we grow. All right. Number two, this idea of integrating AI to SMS, URL, and email. So the integration of AI to this makes sure that in the future, it will not be wiped out by AI. We want to integrate, as there is a previous speaker that said here about the languages, right? The Kiswahili, the all that. We want to find a way to integrate all the languages so that when we're sending out a simulation, it will be easier for people to understand. All right? Is that okay?
Can you hear me? Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, you've done a good work.
Thank you.
Just 2 things. Have you copyrighted this work?
Have I?
Have you copyrighted your work? And how are you planning to make money out of it? And maybe just an advice. Next time when you come to do a presentation, it's easier when you do a screen recording. That way maybe you can hide a lot of finer details that maybe somebody can pick as you do a presentation. But that's a very nice presentation. Maybe just respond to those 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, yes, we've copyrighted our work, so nobody should get the idea of stealing. The second question is about funding, right? We want this to be affordable because it's Kenyan based, right? It's Kenyan based, so we want it to be affordable. We were looking at doing 12, if you're talking approximately numbers, we are looking at doing 12,000 per year. That's annually. So you can calculate monthly how it is. And according to the comparison in the market, this is way more affordable than what is in the market. And we're offering way more because you've integrated AI to URL, to SMS, and to emails. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're going to have one comment here. Although, please keep it brief. I have a brief, please.
First and foremost, can we give a big clap for these amazing young men? You know, congratulations. A really, really great idea. I was going to ask you about whether you've ensured that you've got your IP things in order, as Prof asked, because when you come and present, somebody else will run quickly to steal your amazing idea.
Yeah.
The other one is, because you're going to be using people's data, also look at doing data compliance. Reach out to the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner. Make sure that you're in compliance with that as well. Otherwise, you'll be stopped before you start. Remember how we stopped Huduma number because of no data protection impact assessment? But I just wanted to congratulate you. That is absolutely amazing. Makofi ao.
Thank you, Mudeo. You kept to your word. Thank you. Closing remarks.
All I can say is it took not one or two people, but we made it, and we're still making it. So when we're done with the prototype, I hope next time when Cyber Week 2026, we will come with a whole new other idea or a finished product of this. Probably it will be rolling. With God's grace, it will be. But either way, I hope we will do a better job in this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Makofi, Makofi. Let's appreciate these young men who are doing this. They're innovating. We're going to take a break, about 15 minutes break, and then later we are going to have our closing ceremony and be able to hear from other people who've been behind Cyber Week Africa. One more time, let's appreciate Philip and his team. Our refreshments will be right out here from this door. You turn right, and then we shall meet here in the next 20 minutes. So it's now 11:30, so we meet here at 10 minutes to 12 for our final section for this conference. Karibuni to the refreshments. We're about to start. I am going to first express my gratitude and thanks for all of you for your participation. Those of you who are here for the first time today, but all of you who have been here right from Monday when we did start the hackathon to this point. And so, as this is our last official session before we break for the day and for the week, Cyber Week Africa, I'd like to invite the chair of Cyber Pro, Mr. Preston Odera, to please do come up and give a vote of thanks to those who participated. Karibu sana. Let's appreciate Mr. Preston Odera for Cyber Pro Africa. Karibu.
Yeah, morning all. Yeah, my name is Preston Odera, as he said. I'm executive chairman of CyberPro, and mine is to give a vote of thanks and appreciate those who attended. But before I talk on that, I just want to mention a few things, what I've been doing before, which could benefit. I see some students here, so that they can even contact me before. I'm the founder of ISACA Kenya chapter. ISACA is one of the supporters of CyberPro. And ISACA has certifications which it offers. And what is interesting to the students is that we have student groups in most of the universities. Currently, we have in 15 universities. Maybe in your university could be an ISACA student group. You better check, because there's a lot that they offer that you can get from that. Yeah, thank you. So I was trying to catch the attention of the students who are here so that they are aware ISACA, which is one of the supporters of CyberPro and Cyber Week conference, has student membership and also has certifications which can benefit students at the universities. It has also for professionals, but here I wanted to concentrate on the students. We have student groups at most of the university. Check if your university there is a student group, and I would encourage you to join. If you don't have a student group, you can check isaca.org and reach out. It is very useful as you learn. Mine now is just to appreciate all of you and all the groups that attended this Cyber Week, which is ending. And my first, we had that when we started, we had a welcoming remarks, which was done by Dr. Josephine Mwanzia, the Senior Director, Academic Affairs from Kenya School of Government, which we really appreciated. Then we had the CEO of CyberPro Global. And then we had Emmanuel Carter, the Secretary, ICT Security and Audit Control. After that, we followed by the remarks which we had from the Huawei team. Then we had from Ambassador from Slovakia. We also had a welcome speech by the host, the Director General of Kenya School of Government. The main speaker was our CS, Information Communication Digital Economy. And after that, we had this award ceremony, and we thank Huawei for that because of the boot camp they had. I want to mention some speakers here. It's important that we appreciate what each one did. We had Professor Noura Mohammed, the DG Kenya School of Government, Adam Lane from Huawei, Professor Gabriel Raicu, Vice Chancellor Constana University, Romania, Haida Chadru from Cyber Pro Global, Dr. Bright Gamelli, Romania Ambassador, Dr. Catherine Getao, Peter Morin from Munich, Dr. Leon Tabaski, Tel Aviv University, Medina Ali, and she has presented so much. Thank you, Medina, for attending this. Dansan Akwiri, we had from Freddy Kogore, Professor Elisha Abade, Philip Kisaka, Dixon Gisiora, Theophilus, who is the head of ICT Committee Parliamentary of Ghana. And then we have Harrison Mwashuma, Joylin Kirui, Andy Chadwick. I think we had Andy Chadwick yesterday. Professor Nerida Kirubo, DVC Academic Affairs, University of Nairobi. Sangra Ogoye, John Motama, CrowdStrike. Sifra Wairima, Eric Oko. Those who are our speakers. Then we had those who attended the panel, and we really appreciate that, because you only enrich this if you have panel discussion and you get various views. And I have to recognize those we have on. There was Emmanuel Carter. Thank you, Emmanuel. And Dr. Catherine Getao was there. Dr. Martin Koyabe, Dr. Leon Tabaski, Professor Gabriel Rico, Shane Rahim of Cisco, Dr. Josephine Mwanzia, Benta Kamau, Sifra Wairima, Francis Sitati from Communications Authority, John Kimodho, George Aringo, James Kimuyu, and Peter Orifa, Bernard Rotich, Michael Murungi, Medina Ali, Andy Chadwick, Joylin Kirui, Chris Otieno, Kisinga Timothy, yeah, Professor Andrew Kahonge, Theophilus Lumagana, and John Mutunga. Thank you, those who are in those panel discussions. Our moderators, key to this, because you have to really moderate a session. And here we had Dr. Priska Olwach, Kisinga Timothy, Nabina Shah, Dr. Josephine Mwanzia, Go Yodera, and thank you, Go, for the job well done, and Sifra Warima. And we can't forget the support team. We had a committee that sat down many weekends. This committee worked to ensure that the success of this conference. And behind the scene, we had created a secretariat at KSG here. The hospitality, and I think we had great food. We have to appreciate what they did. The staff, and also the security apparatus here. It made us easy to come in and to go out. So that's our appreciation. We are also appreciating the media that covered this, and we still will encourage you to use other channels so that this is spread widely. There are, of course, our suppliers, and then the MC Gowi, who has done a wonderful job. With this, there are the financial aspect, those who come really to support you so that it makes it easier for you. And here we have Huawei, and thank you, Huawei, for that. Keep it up. We are coming back next year. Cisco, we had Fortinet, we had Google, and Cyber Pro Global. I think continue, and I know that next year we will have more in that list. And we can't forget our exhibitors, Britam Insurance, Data University, Gemini Insurance, Consa Technopolis Development Authority, and Fortinet. And then the partners sat down, and no partners have to approve. And this one we have Ministry of Information, Communication, and Digital Economy, Kenya School of Government, Cyber Pro Global, ICTA, NC4, University of Nairobi. And thank you, partners, because for big partners to agree to organize this kind of event, it needs people to agree on many issues. And here I want to thank the delegates. And you will agree with me, in this conference, we have delegates from the US, we have from Ghana, we have from Zambia, Uganda, and Nigeria. If I left another country, please, you will forgive me for that. And our local delegates, thank you. And you will now be our ambassadors for next year so that we have more delegates. And coming up after this, we will have Dr. Mark Matunga, who is Chair of Technical Advisory Committee and Ministry of Interior, and then our keynote speaker for today, who is representing the PS State Department of Broadcasting and Telecommunication. And I'll leave that for at the right time for the name to be announced. Thank you all, and let's meet next year in the same conference.
Mr. Preston Odera, thank you for your leadership for CyberPro Global and what you've done behind the scenes. We do not take your leadership on this for granted. At this point, I am going to call the chair of Cyber Week Africa, Dr. Mwanzia, to give some closing remarks before we now go on to the formal speeches. But tafadhali, Dr. Mwanzia, karibu sana.
Thank you very much, moderator. All protocols observed. I would like just to remind us of what we committed to do on Monday when we started this conference. We committed to embark on a journey of embracing compliance by design. And we committed to ensure that we embrace compliance by design as a catalyst of change and innovation in systems that are transformative, inclusive, and enduring. I sat here in most of the sessions. I committed to create time to follow through on the journey that we were walking together. And at this point, I want to celebrate each one of you. Let's clap for ourselves. The conversations that went on in this room are very gratifying. That we have a team of professionals, policymakers, cybersecurity professionals, and technocrats who are committed to embrace compliance by design, to create a digital regime that is secure for Africa. Because of that, I want once again to commend each one of you. As the chair of the conference, we have achieved the objectives of this conference. And this was because of your participation, your commitment to attend every session, and your contributions. We want to appreciate you for that. Cyber Week Africa Conference 2025 comes to a close. But we have learned lessons. We have made commitments to implement that are going to be read shortly. And I would like to invite us to commit to those proposals and action points we have made, and to be part of that journey, to be part of that change process. Let's position ourselves as the drivers of that change. Because if we say, let us do this, and then we leave it to others, then it won't happen. So it is our responsibility, not somebody else's responsibility. So I invite each one of us to be part of that process of the change that we want to see. And one of the commitments that we are making is that we are going to be planning for Cyber Week Africa 2026 right away. And we will be reaching out, the committee will be reaching out to us to give our ideas on how best we could make it. And number two, the committee that was planning, we shall be having our debrief meeting on Monday. We are going to provide the details of the time and the venue. But we shall be meeting on Monday to do our debrief and make commitments on how we progress the Cyber Week Africa event. With those few remarks, I want to once again thank and commend each one of you for the insights you shared, because they are not going to be in vain. We shall together move forward implementing them. Well, join me now in welcoming the Director General, Professor Nora Mohammed of Kenya School of Government, to read our commitment of the outcomes and the resolutions of this conference. Professor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senior Director, Academic Affairs. All guests present, great people, good afternoon. I'm tasked to read out the Nairobi Declaration and Action Plan for the Cyber Week 2025 conference, presented to the Minister of ICT and Digital Economy, Republic of Kenya. The venue of this conference is at the Kenya School of Government, Lower Kabete, between 27th and 31st October 2025. And the theme, as stated, is Compliance by Design, Securing Africa's Digital Future. Starting with the preamble, the delegates, partners, and participants of Cybersecurity Africa 2025 convened at the Kenya School of Government, Nairobi, under the leadership of the Ministry of ICT and the Digital Economy, Kenya School of Government, University of Nairobi, again, Ministry of Economy and Industry, State of Israel, National Computer and Cyber Crimes Coordination Committee, Cyber Pro Global, in collaboration with national and international partners, hereby adopt the following Nairobi Declaration and Action Plan as the collective outcomes of the conference and pre-conference activities. This declaration underscores Africa's shared responsibility to secure its digital future, strengthen cyber resilience, promote ethical artificial intelligence, and ensure that digital transformation aligns with national values of trust, inclusion, and accountability. Number two is core outcomes and commitment. Under this core outcome and commitment, there are about 10 core outcomes and commitment under this Nairobi Declaration and Action Plan. The first core outcome and commitment is compliance by design and institutional governance. Here we commit to develop and institutionalize a national framework on cybersecurity that ensures the compliance by design across public and private sector digital systems. Number two, establish, build, fund cybersecurity operation centers and AI research laboratories. And number three, fast track creation of the National Cybersecurity Agency and ratification of the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. And number four, strengthen real-time cybersecurity monitoring and evaluation across national systems. That is the first outcome. The second outcome is on human-centered ethical innovation. From the ethical AI and human-centered design session, we commit to develop ethical AI frameworks guided by Africa values and human dignity. And we also prioritize AI for sustainable development and equitable access to digital infrastructure. Number three, promote ethical design and education in universities and technical institutions. Number four, address algorithmic bias and cultural inclusion and sustainability of AI adaptation. And number three, outcome is regional and international cooperation, and we are committing to operationalize the multiple global MOUs, including the Kenya-Romania on cyber capacity building and intelligence sharing. Number two, deepen collaboration with Israel, Slovakia, and EU partners to build the digital resilience and harmonize cybersecurity laws. And number three, promote Africa's digital sovereignty under the African Union Agenda 2063 through the joint research and development, secure data exchange, and shared intelligence networks. Number 4 commitment. Number 4 outcome include capacity building and workforce development. As part of our commitment, we said we will, 1, institutionalize structured cybersecurity roles and certification through Kenya School of Government, CA, NC4, and the universities. Number 2, we develop national cyber talent pipelines linking academia, industry, and public service. Number 3, introduce continuous learning frameworks, including certifications, mentorships, and executive training for public officers. Number 4, we create inclusive pathways for youth, women, and persons with disabilities to enter the cybersecurity and AI sectors under the 3 Series program by the Kenya School of Government. The 5th commitment or the 5th outcome includes cyber resilience and incident response. Under this outcome, we are committed to adopt AI-driven security operations, platform for automated threat detection and faster response. Number 2, promote zero trust architecture and layered defense strategies across the public and private institutions. And number 3, deploy threat intelligence tools for real-time monitoring and proactive defense. And number 4, institutionalize national cyber drills and business continuity framework within all critical infrastructure sectors. Number 6 outcome include the policy, legislation, and compliance frameworks. Under this, we are committed to 1, review and harmonize national cyber laws across Africa, integrating AI and data ethics principles. Number 2, embed compliance and privacy safeguards in digital ID, cloud, and critical infrastructure systems. And number 3, align Kenya's framework with ISO/IEC 27001, NIST CSF, and also ISO/IEC 40001, what we refer to as AI management systems standards. Number 7 outcome include digital rights, trust, and civil liberties. Number 1, reinforce data protection through a privacy by design, encryption, and secure consent models. Number 2, ensure cybersecurity measures respect constitutional rights, particularly Article 31 on right to privacy. And number 3, expand public awareness on data privacy and responsible digital citizens. Number 8 outcome is private sector and innovation ecosystems. Number 1 is foster public-private partnership for funding innovation hubs, research labs, and also compliance framework. Number 2, recognize corporate partners such as Huawei, Google, Cisco, CrowdStrike, and Fortinet for advancing secure innovation. And then number 3, encourage startup incubation in AI, IoT, and cyber defense with priority access to government research and development support. Number 9 outcome is AI security and emerging technologies. And number 1 commitment is integrate AI risks, deepfakes, data poisoning, and prompt injection into cybersecurity policies. Number 2, develop AI security standard to govern all layers of intelligence systems. Number 3, promote secure deployment of cloud, edge computing, and digital health systems under ethical AI principles. The last outcome is inclusion, talent retention, and local innovation, where we are committing to recognize and retain Africa tech talent through mentorship, innovation, funding, and local incubation. And number 2, support community-based innovation hubs and rural outreach through KSG digital literacy tracks. And number 3, strengthen cross-border collaboration for Africa startups through venture partnership and regional grants. Number 3 here is a declaration. We, therefore, participants of Cyber Week Africa 2025, commit to as follows. 1, advancing Africa's cybersecurity and AI readiness matrix through collaboration, compliance, research, and innovation. 2, building trusted ecosystem that protects citizens, empower innovators, and strengthen democratic values. Number 3, supporting the Ministry of ICT and the digital economy in implementing the outcomes of this declaration within the Kenya Digital Master Plan of the year 2022-2032 and the National AI Strategy 2025 and 2030. Implementation mechanism. We are also committed to establish Cyber Week Africa Steering Committee, co-chaired by the Ministry of ICT and Cyber Pro Global. Number 2, we develop a 2026-2028 action plan with measurable KPIs for policy adoption and training outcomes, as well as industry partnership. Number 3, conduct triennial progress reviews aligned with the global cybersecurity and AI awareness matrix. And number 4, mobilize regional and international partners to scale Cyber Week Africa to East, Central, North, and West Africa by 2026. In conclusion, Cyber Week Africa 2025 reaffirms Africa's leadership in shaping secure, ethical, and inclusive digital future. We, the participants, urge all stakeholders, government, academia, private sector, and civil society to unite under vision of compliance by design and ensure that the cyber security become a cornerstone of sustainable development across the continent. Adopted in Nairobi, Kenya, 31st October 2025 at the closing ceremony of Cyber Week Africa 2025 conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your presence here and for your leadership and partnership with Cyber Week Africa. Asante sana. So today we have a familiar face with us. We do have the Secretary for ICT, Bwana Kata. I'm going to ask him to just give some remarks before we invite 2 others who are with us and specifically to give us a speech on behalf of the PS. But for now, Bwana Kata, please come and give your closing remarks.
Thank you, Gowi. All protocols observed. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you? Are we excited? Did we carry something home? Or we benefited nothing? Okay. On behalf of the State Department of ICT and the Ministry of Information, Communications, and the digital economy, mine first is to appreciate all of you, the ones who are here and the ones who were connecting remotely and the ones who are here previously. I know some of us have gone to other engagements. I want to appreciate all of you for being able to participate fully, both as speakers, delegates, and even in the panels. You will agree with me that this conference had very rich engagements. And I know I missed yesterday, but I followed part of it online because I was on duty somewhere else. And I could see the engagements and how people were so vigorous in trying to push the agenda. And this is what we call, we would want to see so that we can enrich our collaboration. It's not just a collaboration of agreeing with what I say. It is you putting your point I putting mine, and us meeting in the middle and being able to agree how do we move forward. And that's quite encouraging from this conference. On behalf of the ministry, the communique that has been given and the declaration that has been given to us, I want to promise you that on Monday, first thing, it will be with my bosses, the principal secretary and cabinet secretary. I will brief them so that we can start implementation. And here, the ministry is not the one implementing, it is the coordinator of the implementation. Again, just as we have handled this conference, it was a collaboration of academia, government, industry, and even the development partners, because we had our development partners here. Some we didn't recognize, but they participated in this. People like Expertise France, people like GIZ, people like UK Aid, and many others who are wishing to participate. Even MasterCard had expressed willingness to work with us, though time caught up with them. So it is not about the Ministry of IT saying we have done. It is about we, this collaboration, saying we were able to do a very successful event and were able to discuss pertinent issues, which brought out the communique that the Director General has sent and has been presented to the Ministry of Information Communications and the digital economy as a coordinator. So as we coordinate, we'll again call all of you, students, academia, industry, development partners, and government. Let's all work together to make Kenya and Africa a safer place. We have our colleagues who came from the international community from Ghana, we had Zambia, and even we had some from Nigeria. Yes, we want this to be an Africa event. And any communication that we do here, we propel. We said all our systems that we are going to build will be open to be able to integrate with all our regional partners, continental, and even the world. So thank you all of you, and thank you all for supporting us and working together. And I hope this is the beginning of Cyber Week Africa 2026. God bless.
Young people, government is actually open for engaging. And you can see, Bonakata has been here the entire week. It's only just yesterday he wasn't. And so I'd like to encourage you, engage him, and he can point you to other people. So Gen Z, hata kama mnakaa soro hapa na kule, there are people in government who are here. They're here to serve you. And here it's been exemplified with individuals like Bonakata, Dr. Mwanzia, and many others who are here to serve us. Once again, Bonakata, thank you. Thank you, as you actually use the word, coordinating. And that is what we have experienced, and we want to say thank you. Thank you for your participation and your leadership. Before we invite our keynote speaker for today, he has said that he is a man of few words, but I want the fisherman from Lake Victoria, the chair of Advisor Committee, Ministry of Interior, Mr. Mark Matunga, to just give some brief remarks, and then we will invite our keynote speaker. Don't take too long, my comrade from Lake Victoria.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me see. So, Preston, you'll remain seated. Mudeo, you'll remain seated. Let me ask the Gen Zs who are here to rise, and we're going to, if you know you're a Gen Z and you're here, please just rise. I would like Professor Noor, are you also a Gen Z? Thank you, Prof. I would like those who are seated, please, to clap for these young people. Thank you. You may be seated. It is humbling. It is humbling to see you here, especially the young people. I am privileged to have been in this space for nearly 30 years. And I can guarantee you we are exiting. Emmanuel and I are on our way out. And it is our job to just ensure that whatever systems you take over, whichever way you actually take up the leadership of this industry as you move forward, is in place for you, for your individual benefit, and also for the benefit of this country and the benefit of this continent. And that is really our job. But there's also one person that I don't think that we have appreciated much in this conference. I saw him on day one, and I'm still seeing him on the last day. And that is our able MC, Mr. Gowi. Shall we appreciate him? And yes, I see some of my schoolmates here. I'm just confirming to her that I'm still young. Someone we were in college with. And because I've been told that we don't have a lot of time, and I'm always very shy to actually speak before a big audience, especially the Gen Zs. One of the things that they've done, they've already used their AI to check on who is this Mark Matunga, what does he do, what has he done. And that is why when we have conferences like this, it doesn't even make sense to actually post your profile, because once your name is there, these young people know how to actually dig up information about you. And I can confirm to you, whatever you have that is a lie about me is a lie. I'm the one to actually confirm it. So don't worry about the information that you have that might not be correct. Madam Chair, congratulations. Very well done. Please, let's appreciate Madam Chair. Bwana Ndungu, where did he go? Yeah, please just rise. Please clap for him. He's, I think you might have seen him here. Thanks. Together with Chair, some of these efforts started a long time ago. And I think the curriculum is still running that we put together for the benefit of government officers to appreciate issues around cybersecurity. The only comment I want to make on behalf of the PS for Interior, the only comment that I want to make is to commit him, Dr. Raymond Omolo, who is the chairman of NC4, and also actually the co-chair of cybersecurity initiatives together with the PS for digital economy, is that the outcomes that have been read here, that have been put together by the conference committee and the delegates have associated themselves to and with, is that the Ministry of Interior will associate with those outcomes and deliver on the commitments that relates to their mandate. And I listened to it, and I would like to actually have that copy, because that's the only important document that I want to carry back to him, so that each of those items, especially the items that relates to his mandate or the mandate of the Ministry of Interior, are basically carried out. Mudeo and I were talking about, yes, cybersecurity revolves around encryption. That's the core element of cybersecurity. And then we have emerging compute power that is coming to play, and that is quantum computing, that can very easily make mincemeat of any encryption system that we actually, or solutions that we put in place. And the element of research in the resolutions that we have shared, that's research and innovation, will actually come into play, because then you actually need to use similar compute power to actually also deal with some of these issues. It is very amazing that this government agency, Kenya School of Government, has already set up an AI center here. And that is something that actually we appreciate and we want to continue to appreciate. You all aware that the president himself made a very significant step of taking a master's course in AI. And that is an indication of where the leadership is going with this, because AI is quite disruptive. But the fact that this agency has set up an AI center here to actually build the capacity of our government officials is something appreciable. And in closing, Cyber Pro Africa, my friend John, congratulations and very well done. Chairman and our elder in the industry, Preston Odera, congratulations and very well done. In my own private capacity, and I know the Cyber Pro know what role I play, I want to commit together with Madam Chair that we will support this initiative going forward. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. And we appreciate the efforts that you'll be doing moving forward. So our final speech, and to close, officially close our Cyber Pro Week, Cyber Week Africa, we want to invite Mr. Alphonse Kanunga. He is the Secretary for State Department, Broadcasting and Telecommunications, and he will be speaking, actually giving a speech on behalf of the PS, Stephen Isaboke, and also to close this whole week. Sir, you're most welcome, and karibu sana to make your remarks and officially close this conference. Karibu.
Allow me to say the following, rather to begin as like this. Distinguished guests, government officials, our development partners, members of the diplomatic corps, our academia, innovators, the cyber community. Good afternoon. I have been sent by the PS, Stephen Isamboke, our PS for Broadcasting and Telecommunications, under the Ministry of ICT, to deliver a special message, to deliver a very warm, connecting message, matters what has been happening, rather what has happened in the last few days. So we have official written remarks onto that. But before that, just allow me to mention just one word. You may not, many of you will not know who Alphonse Kanunga is. I got a very little footprint, and especially online. But yes, Secretary of Telecommunications in the State Department and in the ministry. That aside, just want you to write somewhere that this is the only man in Kenya who never paid any single coin towards their education. from primary school, high school, University 1, University 2, and University 3. Simply because that coin was not there. I've been educated through scholarships by Starembo's Center, Commonwealth Commission, Mahatma Gandhi, and all these people. And that is why I may not have attended any of the sessions of this conference, this event. But because of that, I connect closely to what has happened in the course of the week. And I just want to say that this place where we are in, this hall we were in this week, this KSG that through which we have been and it has been happening this week. Friends and colleagues, this is an holy place. Matters cyber security. This is a special place because of what has happened from Monday. I have been in tech, in computing for so many years. And when these things happen, when we get our systems correct, when we get infrastructure correct, when we get cyber security correct, in effect that leaves our systems working for you. You go, you relax, you rest, go sleep, enjoy a very healthy, deep sleep, and leave behind secure, resilient systems working for you throughout the night. That in effect takes stress out of your life, and the impact of the same is increasing your lifespan, increasing the number of years you live on this earth. I clap for that. Where is the place for Africa? Matters cyber security as we speak. Governments across Africa are implementing extensive digital infrastructure, metro, riding on backbone, fiber, last mile connectivity. Governments across Africa, beginning from Kenya, are implementing ubiquitous systems, are implementing and rolling out omnipresent applications. So we would not have had another better time, another blessed time for us to have this conversation on Cyber Week Africa. This is the right time that we have had that conversation. And I was scanning through the program of the week, the timetable, and really these things are from the heart, deep, the depth, the conversations, the extensiveness of our ventilations, and the knowledge that has been exchanged throughout this week. The value, the weight of that, if we were to put the same, so much. It gives me pleasure, great pleasure, to join you at the closing ceremony of this momentous Cyber Week Africa 2025. A forum that continues to shape dialogue and direction of cybersecurity governance across our continent and across the globe. Allow me to extend deepest appreciation to our hosts, the Kenya School of Government, the Ministry of ICT, and our strategic partners, including NC4, Cyber Pro Global, Huawei, and other development partners for curating such an enriching and forward-looking platform. We cannot leave behind other critical partners in this. The academia, our members of our diplomatic corps, our ambassadors who were here with us, who gave us quite insightful content and information and to the debate that has happened across right throughout the week. The theme of this year's Cyber Week, Compliance by Design, resonates deeply with the government's vision under the digital superhighway and creative economy pillar of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. It reminds us that cybersecurity must not be an afterthought, but a foundation of our digital transformation, ensuring systems are secure by design and resilient by default. It's common knowledge that government is rolling out robust, agile infrastructure, the 100,000 kilometers of fiber, the 1450 digital hubs, the 25,000 public Wi-Fi hotspots. If we were to reflect on this massive infrastructure, the net effect of that, the next 5, 7, 10 years, that will translate to our ecosystem to smart villages, which will translate to smart counties, which will integrate into a smart nation and eventually integrate into smart Africa, the smart world. When that happens, I don't really want to imagine how the experience, how the feeling, how the satisfaction will look like for everyone, for each one of us, across all the sectors and across all the fields. In an era where our economies, institutions, and citizens rely heavily on interconnected network and systems, trust, accountability, and compliance must not be afterthoughts. They must be embedded into the DNA of our digital infrastructure, our systems, and applications. From code to policy, from innovation to implementation. Kenya is committed to a safe and trusted digital ecosystem. In the Ministry of ICT, we view cybersecurity, compliance, and governance as an integral to digital transformation. Allow me to highlight a few of our ongoing initiatives that directly speak to this year's theme. One, the ministry through the Communications Authority of Kenya is committed to strengthening Kenya's resilience through Kenya Computer Incident Response Team and Coordination Center. The center provides timely advisories that serve to enhance our national cyber posture. Two, we are also, through the Communications Authority of Kenya, developing cybersecurity regulations, as well as data center and cloud service standards to ensure alignment with international best practices. As a ministry, we are working closely with NC4 and the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner to develop harmonized cybersecurity compliance frameworks for critical information infrastructure operators. I think it's key for us, for Africa, all governments, to reflect on who is that agency, who is that single man in our countries, that person who is supposed to take the ultimate responsibility when things go wrong, matters cyber security. Who is that person, who is that guy who is supposed to, we are supposed to, all of us, point our fingers onto. In the event certain things are not gotten correct, matters cyber security. So there's need for coalescing integration of and the establishment of a single agency, authority in our governments that is responsible for national cyber resilience, so that we are able to take responsibility and guide our establishments and our people correctly. Our nation's ability to adequately secure its critical digital assets requires a robust and well-trained front-line cybersecurity workforce. These efforts would not have been possible without the support of partners in both the public and private sectors. We recognize that the digital economy is a shared space and that we must therefore build safety and trust together through public-private collaboration. A key question, a point of reflection is when it comes to the budgets. How do our cyber security budgets look like? Our budgets for ICT, how do they look like against budgets and funding for other sectors? We appreciate that government policies are there in Kenya and across Africa that indicate to us that ICT, the digital space, cyber security by extension shall be given the rightful placement in terms of resources and apportionment of resources. In recognition of this, Kenya contributes to advocate for cross-border cybersecurity cooperation, harmonization of standards, and trusted data governance frameworks at both regional and international forums, such as our Smart Africa Alliance, the AU Digital Transformation Strategy, while working closely with the International Telecommunications Union on cyber preparedness. Collaboration is key, harmonization is key, and especially of standards, policies, legal frameworks, towards implementing a unified cyber, digital, and systems infrastructure. As we close this year's Cyber Week, several insights stand out. First is that compliance is not a checkbox exercise. It must evolve into a culture that guides our design process, corporate governance, and citizen digital behavior. Two, Africa must invest in its human capital. Compliance by design begins with developers, policymakers, and consumers who understand their shared responsibility in securing digital trust. I extend my gratitude to all the delegates who have enriched this dialogue with ideas and solutions that will shape Africa's secure digital destiny. Let us reaffirm a message echoed by delegates, ambassadors, and partners alike. Compliance by design is not just a technical framework. It is a mindset and a legacy. It is what will safeguard our people, our economies, and our democracy. Allow me to indicate that just as our other colleagues, Secretary Carter and Ministry of Interior, that we have copied and pasted the resolutions, the commitments that we have meant, and we have all agreed. So we are aligned as a ministry of ICT and as government. We are aligned to these commitments, and we shall deliver effectively the same message, the same information to our supervisors, to our seniors. And we are certain, and especially because of the goodwill that we have in the country, even from the top leadership, matters digital, the fifth pillar, digital superhighway. So we are sure that leadership, both at the ministry level and also at the national level, these are things that shall and will be taken into consideration as we advance the debate and conversation around cyber security and tech, science, and research. We have no words. Friends, colleagues, we have no words. Guys who are seated here, all of us who are in this hall, this time, this hour, our colleagues who are in the offices, in government, in private sector, we have no words except to say clearly the future is now. Together today for a better cyber security posture. So allow me to stop there, and it is now my pleasure to declare the Cyber Week Africa 2025 closed. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you, participants. Thank you so much. And may God bless each and every one of us. We wish each one of us success in their endeavors now and in the future. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Bwana Kanunga. Before you leave, I'm going to ask, and before we exit, I'm going to ask that you present, maybe for the, first we'll take pictures, but before we do that, we want to announce the results of the hackathon. And I want you at least to appreciate with a handshake the winners. So here are the results of the hackathon. At third place, we had a hackathon on Monday. At third place is ZTech University. Let's appreciate that. Third place is ZTech University, and that team will be taking a cash prize of 45,000 Kenya shillings. Asante, asante. The first, okay, it's not me giving the money, but you know where I'm going for that, right? The first runner-up, coming up second, is Multimedia University. Mr. Kanunga, Mr. Matunga, just to let you know, during the hackathon, there were over 90 different individuals from various institutions that participated in this hackathon. And the winner, and I'm going to ask the representative of this institution to please come and at least give take a handshake right here and for the cameras. Hey, Akwapi? Where is up? Oh yeah, you're there. Yes. So the winner of Cyber Week Africa Hackathon 2025 is, but you know I even have a story to tell you guys. After this, we will be having lunch, all right, at the Margaret Kobia dining hall. As you exit here on the left, just go down on your left to find a parking lot, but then the dining hall is right there, all right? Third place, ZTech University. First runner-up, Multimedia University, and your cash prize is 75,000 Kenya shillings. Let's appreciate that. And the winner of this year's hackathon is a very good university that, no, I'm just kidding, Meru University. They shall be receiving a cash prize of 100,000 Kenya shillings. I'm going to ask the representative of Meru University to come. And if you come with your team, and I want you to, if all of them are here, I don't know if they all are there, and Bwana Kanunga, please, if you can, just at least for posterity and for the record, the team. Let's appreciate this team as they come here. Prof, with your team, please come shake hands there, and then you could take a picture of them. Please stand in the middle of the stage, and you can present them with that. Is that the check? All right. Are we ready to take the pictures? All right, all look at the camera. All right, let's appreciate Meru University. I'm also told they will be receiving them right over here. I'm going to call the representative of Multimedia University. Are you here? One of the representatives from Multimedia University. Are you here? From MMU, who is the team lead? If you please do come. Patia makofi hapo. If you please join them. And the team lead for ZTech University, are you here? The team lead for ZTech University, please come join us here. Yes. All right, if we could all take a group photo, but you know we have steps there. We can also spread out. I mean, some of you on one step and the other on another. So with all the teams, both the third place runner-up, second place runner-up, first runner-up. Yes, some in front, some behind. So at least we can capture many more. Yes. Those who are vertically challenged. Oh, I'm being told runners up want to be seen. Okay. So can we have the ZTech University to come, please? And the Multimedia University team to come up, please, also. I'm told you want to be seen also. So please do come up. Pardon me too. Thank you. Thank you, Daktari, for doing that. So don't go away, guys. We are just going to have all of you also take a picture. So let's have Multimedia University first.
ZTech first.
ZTech, all right. ZTech, please, first.
Not ZTech, Multimedia.
Sorry, Multimedia first with our guest of honor.
Just stand by there.
Please smile for the picture. Umepata chapa, maze. All right, thank you. And now ZTech University.
Then you can come, all of you.
Then ZTech University. Just don't go ZTech. Don't go ZTech. We want to have a full group photo. And now, sorry, don't go Multimedia. ZTech now, please do come. I will take this picture. Yes. Makofi hapo. All right, now we're going to have a group photo, and I'm going to ask us to use the stairs. There are also going to be stairs over there, so you can do different levels so that you could be in that one photo. So all of us together, all the participants, the winners rather. So we'll have the guests of honor in the middle, and then the others around them, please.
No, second line. Oh, second line. Then you come behind here. So the first line, we have okay. Now, that's good enough? Yeah. Oh, you're too tall. I'll come here and you. No, madam. Okay. Right in the front. One, two, three.
Smile. Mumepata chapa, guys. Yes. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And with that, we come to the end of Cyber Week Africa. And thank you very much. And as Bwana Emmanuel Carter said, this is actually the beginning of Cyber Week Africa 2026. And so once again, I do appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for being great participants. I've been your facilitator for this entire week. I wish you all well. Those of you who are traveling back to other countries, my brother from Uganda there, from Zambia, our brothers from Ghana, Wale, I'm not sure if he stepped out here, is from Nigeria. And those of you from other parts of this country, asanteni sana. Thank you for coming. Spread the word. You are now our evangelists for cybersecurity. God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the weekend. Just once again, should you want lunch, lunch will be served at the Margaret Kobia dining hall. Once you exit, turn left, and it will be, the building will be on your left. Our guests, please, this way.